Hello, everyone. Hi, and thank you for coming to the blessing. My name is Faith Maloney, and I'm one of the co-founders here at Best Friends. And you heard earlier today at our brunch about how this gratitude garden place that we're in right now was created as a way to thank all of the people who help us do the work we do here at Best Friends. And it's wonderful seeing you all here, and also all the people at home who are joining us to honor the animals that have passed. I'm going to start with a reading called Call to Gathering, and you're going to hear myself and Josh talk about one of our very wonderful colleagues, David Abrams, whom some of you may have met over the years if you've been coming for a long time. He passed away 2 weeks ago. And we are honoring this whole blessing here today for David and thinking of his wife as well as we do this. So this is one of David's readings. All creatures, great and small, are gifts to us from the Creator, which we are given stewardship of. Everything that has form has energy. Everything that has energy has life. Everything that has life has a spirit. Every thought and emotion creates an energy that never dies, and the same is true of a spirit. It never dies. As we celebrate these spirits that have crossed the Rainbow Bridge, we are reminded of their gifts, their truths, teachings of responsibility, tolerance, patience, respect, and their greatest gift, unconditional love. This day we honor all they have given to our lives. Let us always hold them in our memories and our hearts and value their lives even greater than all of their gifts. By David Abrams.
Hello, everybody. My name is Josh. I'm the manager of Angels Rest Department here at Best Friends. And just like how Faith had mentioned before, Dave Abrams, who I always call Mr. Dave, mentor, elder to me. When I first got here, he was the one I worked with, him and Kurt. And I wouldn't be in my position today if it wasn't for Mr. Dave and all that he told me and taught me as well. And we keep his traditions alive. If you ever come to a placement here, a lot of that was influenced by Mr. Dave. So we will keep his spirit alive, and it was an honor to work with him. At this point in our actual ceremony here, we'll talk about the sanctuary animals that had crossed in this month. In cat world, we lost Misty Blue, Penny, Charger, Paul McCartney, Petey, Miss Dubs, Michaela, Catsy Klein. And in Dogtown, we lost Kurt Russell, Cali, and Larkin. In Wild Friends and Parrot Garden, we lost Charlotte, Mrs. Puff, Plankton, and Daffodil. Now, tributes were sent in from members of Best Friends. There's Scarlett, Max Feeders, Bongo and Bronx, Fennec Shangdala Jones, Pretty, Stranger, Folk, Huey, Wesson, Tiny Bo, and Mac Aubrey Smith. These tributes were sent in from the friends and founders attendees. Harley and Abby, Oreo, Zeus, and Mittens, Marina and Pearl, Snowball, Remy, Bugs, and Mabel, Bear, Little Bear, Luna and Ollie, Muppet and Simba, Greta, Kuma Kelly, Lulu and Riley, Jacko, Tanya, Nikki, Saber, Callie, and Boomer, Nala, Calvin, Toby and Scooter, Hobart, Violet, Fiona, Gabor, and Gotti, Maggie, Marmalade and Tola, Annie, Roxy, Leroy, Lucy, and Chessie, Pal and Buddy, and Ladybug. This story I was about to read here is sent in from Rebecca. Tiny Bo, you came into our lives as a rescue around 3 years ago. You were very timid and scared, but became a very sweet and loving little girl. You touched our hearts right from the beginning. We took you everywhere and enjoyed every minute we could spend with you. You were almost 16 years old when you left us, but it still broke our hearts. We look forward to the day we will see you again. We will love you and miss you forever. Your daddy and mama, Tom and Becky Lindley.
My name's Jess, and I work in Dogtown, and I'd like to talk about the 3 dogs that Josh mentioned. The first dog I'll talk about is Cali. Cali came to us from Canada. She was part of a dog fight bust up there, and by way of a couple of other organizations, she ended up here in Dogtown. She was a beautiful brown little pitty, very small. Sometimes people think of pit bulls as really large dogs, but we have quite a few small ones here. She was a very petite girl. She did not care for other dogs, and so she lived alone in Dogtown, but she had tons of human friends, and she loved to take walks around Dogtown, go out for car rides and outings, and also sleepovers. One of her most favorite things was to get new toys and to play fetch with those toys with the people she loved. So Cali developed a very sudden form of cancer about a month ago, and her caregivers decided to make her a bucket list. And so they made sure that even more so than usual, Cali was showered with love and attention and affection. She was a TikTok star for a day. She had a steak dinner, amongst many other things. But unfortunately, Cali's cancer was inoperable, even with the amazing staff we have here. So we did not want her to suffer, and the caregivers surrounded her with lots of love, with a celebration of life, and then they helped her cross the Rainbow Bridge. So I know she will be really missed in Dogtown. There were a lot of people who live here and work here, but also visitors and volunteers who cared about her a lot and loved her. Another dog we lost this month was Kurt Russell. He came to us by way of a city shelter in Las Vegas. In fact, ironically, he almost didn't come. He came because he was buddies with a different dog, which we named Goldie Hawn, and we just took them both. And I'm very glad we did. So Kurt came to us, and he actually was my office dog for quite a while. He was an older pit bull who was a beautiful brindle, and he didn't know he was older, I guess, once he started feeling better. He had a lot of medical issues when he first came, and we got him on a special diet, and he started to feel tons better. He got his ear infections cleared up, and then he just thought he was a young dog and would tend to overdo it, and then he would be feeling rough. So luckily for us, Kurt was able to go into a foster home with an amazing local foster named Bo. And Bo usually takes really active dogs as fosters, but unfortunately for Bo, he broke his foot. So we said that this was all like meant to be, that he took an older, slower dog for his recuperation, and they became the best of friends. Kurt was a little picky with dogs here sometimes, but he lived in Bo's home wonderfully with his other dogs. And he loved to go for short walks, play at his own speed, and nap in the sun. And we're just ever so grateful that he was able to go home with Bo and have some time in a home, because his intervertebral disc disease was really flaring up, and our vets did amazing work. They did everything they could, but we ultimately had to make the hard choice to cross Kurt, and we're just so thankful that he was able to have that time in his foster home. So we really appreciate that, and we will definitely miss Kurt. He was a big presence in Dogtown, especially when he was in my office. The last dog is Larkin, and this is hard because some of our most fragile residents are the youngest residents, and our puppy caregivers and our puppy staff and volunteers, they work so hard, as well as our clinic staff, to save these precious lives that are so small and so fragile. And unfortunately, Larkin wasn't very old, and he didn't have nearly as much time as we had hoped. But he got very sick very fast, and he was suffering, and we never want that. So we had to make the hard choice yesterday to cross Larkin. And some of his litter mates are still sick, so we hope that we can find out what's going on with them and help them have a chance. But unfortunately for Larkin, we had to cross him. So we just want to remember Larkin tonight too. Thanks.
And at this point, then, we'll have a moment of silence for all of our loved ones that we have lost.
This is also another reading written by David Abrams, and this was written in 2013. And I found it, Carolyn sent me a whole load of his readings, and this one just sprang out to me, and I want to read this as our benediction for tonight. Balance. It is not how we die, but rather how we lived. In life, we should strive for balance. A country song says, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. At Best Friends, we take a stand for those without a voice. Our four-legged relatives that for various reasons are here. The warrior side is touched at their plight. We give them food, shelter, and most importantly, love and trust. We are putting balance in their lives, and in doing so, we realize balance in our own. Today, we celebrate the lives of all who are placed here. We give respect, and we honor their lives, their gifts, and their journey in this physical world. In reflection of their lives, we are able to smile a second time as we remember their uniqueness, those things that made them individuals and different from all the others. The circle of life is complete for them as we release their spirits to join our Creator where they are all loved unconditionally. Amen.